Hi, I am Kajer on two wheels and something weird just happened. I was prevented from filming and had to delete a film. Because apparently the toll booth lady did not enjoy me having a camera on. Fucking idiot. I didn't even film her face, you fucktards. Jeez. So I had to stay there for like 10 minutes for a cop to come and say, oh, you can't film here in the conception. I think I can because she's not the object of filming. Ah, oh, fuck me. What a freaking idiot. And the whole justification was, oh, people film and then they do say or do unkind things and people here are trying to work and... Oh yeah? You want to know what unkind things are? When you act like a fucking retard, that's unkind things. Jeesh. That was me just being all cool and shit. Just going, oh, thank you, no. Just stop here. Let you simmer there for a bit, you fucking idiot. Fucking stupid old lady. Jeesh. Ah, crikey. What a fucking retard. So, as I had said before some idiot decided that I couldn't keep the file, was... I'm riding... girl? No. No. Not on the phone. Okay, so, as I was saying, this is not the other CBF. This is the older model for the CBF600s. And it's very different. I wasn't going to do this video, but this is a very, very different bike. HOG is getting her oil change, so that's why I'm back at the shop. I had to do things in different months, so it wouldn't be too expensive all at once. But HOG is at the shop, and this is a very, very different bike. I wasn't expecting that. First off, the handlebars are much more sportier. They're closer together and bent towards me a lot more. Second, my knees are very high up. I can just tap them really easy. So I'm sitting in a more sporty position. Even though I'm still relatively straight up, I'm not as straight up as on the other one, on the newer CBF600. And I'm in a much sportier. It's nicer. No, it's weirder. The other thing is that this bike really requires countersteering. It's really heavy. I can't just lean like mine. Mine's very... The NC700, basically almost every bike I rode was very forgiving on this. You could lean it without knowing really what you were doing. This one? Okay, this little bit, it still leans like this. I'm just trying to move my hips and not moving much of my hands, or maybe I'm just inducing a little bit. So this, it still works like this. But that's just about it. It won't lean more than this. So you can only use your hips to do little things like lane changing. To really turn, to do any kind of turn at any speed, you really need to countersteer this. Or it just will not turn. It's really odd. It is such an odd thing I felt now. So heavy. So it would be tiresome to run this around the city, at least compared to what I'm used to. Engine though, it's very similar. Although it seems to have a lot less power at the low revs. I remember with the other one in 6th gear, I just blasted through here as soon as I accelerated. This one seems to have less power at low revs. Less power, no, less torque at low revs. Might be just me though, but it is as smooth as the other one. And it is also a nice bike to have. A bit more sporty though. Suspension is also stiffer. Does have ABS. Does have, yeah, just ABS. I don't think this is combined ABS. That's the hog rider marking his territory. Desperately revving away, lest the females not realize where he is. That's the mating call of a hog rider. Can you hear me talk? I can barely hear myself think behind that hog. So much noise! There is such a thing as a too loud exhaust, and that one has it. Jeesh! I think he's going to the bridge with me, and I also think his wife knows he's coming just from the sound. She probably can hear him straight across the bridge. So, about this bike, now that we have heard the hog in all its glory, I like the way it leans. You need to pilot it. It's just not pick up and go. You have to be piloting this. Hey dude, careful now. You have to be piloting this, not just taking along and firing it away, which is different. And another thing I noticed, it's really nice. It's very ergonomical for some twisties. I did a bit more enthusiastic little turn, something like this, a wide turn, which I went a bit faster than usual, and it's very easy to slide off the seat and into a semi MotoGP position, because I don't do the proper MotoGP position. I don't know how to, or rather I've never actually, I'm not sure I can do it correctly, so I just do what I can. Just slide half my butt off. Nothing too extreme, but what I did notice was that one, it was really easy to do that, so it was intuitive, it was a natural position to be in. Actually, I slid off without really thinking about it. I just kind of went. I wasn't consciously trying to achieve that position. I just kind of felt natural to do. Knee out and just slide out slightly. Having said that, I think the suspension was a bit too soft, because it doesn't quite feel stable. I'm leaned over, and I'm used to mine. I'm leaned over, and it's not going anywhere. XJ6 was the same thing. It leaned over and was planted, did not move anywhere. The MT-09, I leaned it over and it was there. It wasn't trying to move from under me. This one was going a bit wobbly, which was odd. Any little bump and it would just go all squarely. The bike, how am I going to put this? It wasn't moving around a lot, but I could feel it just going wobbling around, and as a result my trajectory along the turn was going wide, short, and it kind of unnerved me. There's someone behind me. There he is. These mirrors are horrible. Can't see anything. Too soft, because it doesn't quite feel stable. I'm leaned over, and I'm used to mine. I'm leaned over, and it's not going anywhere. XJ6 was the same thing. It leaned over and was planted, did not move anywhere. The MT-09, I leaned it over and it was there. It wasn't trying to move from under me. This one was going a bit wobbly, which was odd. Any little bump and it would just go all squarely. The bike, how am I going to put this? It wasn't moving around a lot, but I could feel it just going wobbling around, and as a result my trajectory along the turn was going wide, short, and it kind of unnerved me. There's someone behind me. There he is. These mirrors are horrible. Can't see anything. I can see just over my shoulder, but not directly behind me. So, as I was saying, but it's not bad. I like the way it rides. Now, I kind of enjoy this more sporty position, although it would be tiresome for an afternoon of fun. So you really have to work it. But it's different. It's cool. It's cool. Just this suspension thing just might be that this is an older gal and there might be some issues with it. I've tried the ABS, which is very weird because I just slammed on the ABS with the rear wheel, and when the ABS turned on, it just went completely no brakes. I'm used to mine. I can just clamp onto the brake and it will brake at least as fast as I usually can. With this one, I turned on the ABS and it looked like a bicycle, just kept on going. And when I tried to do that with only the front brake, trying to activate the ABS, it started squealing bad. So I took a look at the rear brake pads. They're basically gone, and Jesus, this is unstable under this wind. And the front brake pads, I think, are also almost gone because of that squealing sound when I brake. Because if you brake a little, it doesn't squeal. You brake a lot and it starts squealing bad. So I think it's the brake pads, and the ABS is probably going a bit haywire because of no rear brake pads. Well, this is a loaner bike. It's what we call a courtesy bike. You go put your bike on the shop and they lend you something just to get you to work and back. It's not a bike made for you to go have some fun. It's for you to go to work and back, just the essentials. So it's an essential bike. And these guys give me a proper bike. Usually it's just a 125 scooter or less. But in this case, since they are over on the South Bank and many of their customers work on the North Bank, they know their customers are going to have to cross this, so the bare minimum is a 125. And even the 125 is a bit iffy because traveling on a 125 on this bridge, it can be a harrowing experience if the weather is bad. So I think that's why they got these old gals to do that work, and they do it perfectly well. And yet the engine responds completely different. This one has less oomph, definitely less oomph. There's no doubt about that. Oh, you dick. There's no doubt about this engine having a lot less strength, especially at low revs. It's just dead at low revs. The fuel injected one at low revs, it still goes well. It's very linear. It's very nice to drive. This, not so much. If you really want to ride, if you're just cruising along like I am, you can be at 2.5 like I am, 2.5 RPM. But if you want to suddenly start going, it better not be at 2.5, at least 4 or 5, or else it will just go car-like, which is not the idea.